Great food for a great cause. This elected official's working hard to save babies together. Who is she? You'll meet her coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Myrtle Beach Herald. We're focused on the March of Dimes Star Chefs Auction, and we're visiting with its chairman, Lois Eargle, the Horry County Auditor. Good morning, Lois.
Oh, it's wonderful to be with you today, Greg.
Thank you so much for coming in. To think we're getting this close. We're about a month and a half from the event.
We are getting excited about it. It is going to be phenomenal this year.
Really?
Oh, by the way, thank you so much for being one of the presenter sponsors. Appreciate that so much. It's people like you that keeps the research going on for babies and the preemie babies. Did you know, Greg, that 1 out of 8 babies is born premature?
1 out of 8 babies born in South Carolina or nationally?
Yes,
in South Carolina?
Yes. That's pretty tough, I think. And of course, I had a set of twins, and they were when I brought them home from the hospital, one weighed 4.3 pounds and one weighed 4.7, and it takes a lot of care to care for these babies and to get them up, and even a baby that's a full term, it's a lot of work. But whenever you have these preemies, it's a lot of hard work for the families.
Now,
but go ahead.
No, forgive me. Your twins were fraternal or identical?
They are identical.
You have identical. These are twin daughters.
Twin daughters.
Yeah.
And listen, this you'll love this. One of them was Miss Conway, and the other one was first runner-up. 1 year.
You are kidding. That is amazing.
Yeah.
One was at the same time.
At the same time, and the song made the difference. They sang.
Wow, that's amazing. That must have been exciting. Where are those girls now?
One of them is a school teacher, and
Right.
the other one works for Colonial Life Insurance in Columbia.
Well, they are no longer girls then, I guess.
No,
That's
they're
right.
grown.
Not
They
to
have
date you.
families
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
They have families of their own.
Uh-huh.
You know how God gets you back. He lets you have children of your own.
Oh, yeah. Last week on the show on Monday, we had the former director of Carolina People, Lane Harris, and he was saying that during the interview. He has 3 daughters, and it was God's payback for his frolicking, as he said, over time.
And you got a gorgeous daughter.
She's the sweetest thing in the world.
She's
yeah.
a beautiful girl.
Oh, she is.
Yes.
That's very sweet. Thank you. It was her birthday this last Saturday the 11th.
A year?
September 11th was her second birthday,
Second
actually.
birthday.
Yeah.
Time goes by so fast.
We celebrated number 2, and
Yeah.
we're actually having the big party tomorrow night on the 18th. So we're very excited. And thank you so much for coming in again.
Oh, it's just wonderful. Our chef's auction this year is, the theme of it is A Night to Remember, K-N-I-G-H-T.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. The medieval times, they're bringing their cast in. When you walk into the room, you'll be walking into a castle. They will be dressed up in all of their costumes and the uniforms, and it's going to be a wonderful event. We have several wonderful trips. We have a trip that's going to be auctioned off. We have a trip to Aruba.
Right.
And we have Barbados.
Mm-hmm.
We have several golf packages, like one in Atlanta and one in Charlotte, I believe it is.
Wow.
And a lot of items that'll be up for auctions. And the thing about it is, it is such a wonderful cause. March of Dimes. You're too young to remember, but March of Dimes was the one that helped eradicate polio.
Right.
You remember that?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was growing up, we couldn't even go and swimming, and we fought the battle there and won. And so we're in the battle now for babies, and
Right.
I think that is one of they couldn't have chosen a more wonderful cause than babies.
Oh, yeah.
Because whenever a baby is born premature or with problems, it costs a lot.
Absolutely. Lois, it's so amazing. We think it's getting up close, but let's talk about the date and the time and the place.
Okay. It's October the 26th.
Okay.
The doors will open at 6 o'clock. That'll give you an opportunity to come in and to browse around and see the auction items. We're going to have a tremendous amount of auction items this year.
Oh, yeah.
It probably will last, I imagine, about 3 hours. It usually does.
Right.
And it's going to be, like I said, the theme is the nights a night to remember.
I love that theme. How'd y'all
Yeah.
come up with that? That's
Well,
ingenious.
It is, and in medieval times has been wonderful to us.
Right.
They've been so cooperative, and they're doing everything they can to really make this a night to remember.
Oh, yeah,
And
absolutely.
They're going to have the costumes, and it's going to be wonderful. We had fun last year, and so we are really going to have fun this year. This is an annual event. And of course, all of the money that's raised goes to the March of Dimes. One thing that I'd like to point out is that 91 cents out of every dollar stays here in South Carolina.
You're kidding.
And it has been recognized by the Secretary of State as an angel organization. You know, they have an angel and a Scrooge every year.
Right.
And the March of Dimes has been recognized as an angel organization, because they do an investigation to see where the money goes.
Oh, yeah. I remember when Jim Miles used to pump those up. I think I saw you were real active in helping Jim get elected, Lois.
I certainly will. I enjoyed that.
That was a big time. That was a big time. It's at the Radisson Plaza Hotel, Myrtle Beach Convention Center.
That's exactly right. At Radisson Plaza Hotel at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center.
Right.
And it's going to be it's on Tuesday night. October.
Tuesday night? How did y'all decide on a Tuesday night?
Because that was the only time that the facilities were available.
Right.
So in Myrtle Beach, that makes a difference.
Oh, yeah, very definitely. My Lord.
Yeah.
There's so many events in the fall and so many big events, as you know, in the spring coming up. So many amazing charity fundraisers in the area. And the March of Dimes got the real estate breakfast coming up in December. Of course, the Ride for Babies is the weekend before. You've got the Heart Walk coming up on October 16th. So much happening around the area. But the March of Dimes got so many amazing things. The walks in Marion and Dillon and Marlboro. Lots of big walks coming up.
And those small counties like that, they always meet their goal. They just think this is the most exciting thing to get out there and walk for those babies.
Joe Fisher helps turn on the juice.
Isn't she wonderful?
She tons it. Yeah, she's amazing. She's part of the reason why Better Blue sponsored so many of the events in those outlying counties.
Yeah, that Better Blue water is the best.
Listen to that. The better is best.
Best.
Thank you, Lois, for that plug.
I drink a lot of water.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you need to
How
pop
do you think
over.
I look so good?
Yeah, Benjamin. They've got it at a couple places in Conway, and of course Donald sells it at Lucky Dog Television Productions. So there's a couple of good locations we were trying to get in. I got approval for 6 area Walmarts in the PD. It only got into one of them, the Marion County store, and I don't know if they've renewed it or not. It's but I was approved from Walmart's home office to get into Conway. I just didn't have that avenue in there, unfortunately. I think they thought it was priced too high. It is a Pristine Spring up near Hendersonville.
Well, it's probably better.
It is better. Listen to that. I need to have you do it. Diane Devon Stokes does the voiceovers for the spots, but I should probably get you in there.
Glad to.
That's a great idea. Let's talk about growing up. Now, you grew up where?
In Sumter, South Carolina.
Oh, great. So you're a Palmetto State native.
A Palmetto State native.
Wow. And, of course, one of the first, am I correct, one of the first female elected officials in South Carolina?
Yes, and in Horry County in particular. I was the first female elected to House of Representatives 105. Of course, the first female elected to the auditor in Horry County. The auditor is elected by the people countywide.
Right. Share with viewers real quick exactly what the auditor does. I mean, how does that interrelate with their everyday activities?
That's a good question. If I ever call a businessman and tell him, and my secretary says, Lois Eargle, the auditor of Horry County, it's amazing when I meet with them, they always have their accountant there because they think I've come in to audit them.
Yeah.
But the auditor is responsible for sending out the tax notices. I receive the information from the assessor's office.
Right.
I send out the tax notices on real property, which is houses and land, and the assessor, he does the assessment of the property. I send the notices out, and of course the treasurer does the collecting. But now my office is responsible for the personal property. Personal property is vehicles, trucks, boats, motors, campers, airplanes, motorcycles,
so
things like that.
Slammed, Lois.
Yes,
you almost
we are.
be busy all the time. The largest county anywhere, surely in the state.
Yeah. Furniture and fixtures. If you rent a vacation home out and derive an income, you have to declare the furniture and fixture in there, and you charge a personal property tax on that.
Wow.
We have about 60,000 accounts of the furniture and fixtures in Horry County.
You said 60,000.
60,000.
Now, Lois, how do you manage all that?
It's tough. We have 4 offices, one in Conway, one in Myrtle Beach, one in Little River, and one in Surfside. I have wonderful employees, Greg.
Great
It's
staff.
not what Lois Eargle does, it's those employees, and they work very hard to make me look good.
Right.
And we work very closely together. I appreciate them. They know that.
Mm-hmm.
They know
As
that I
a team,
appreciate them.
as a family,
we
sure.
sure do.
Mm-hmm.
And we, our first goal and what we emphasize is the service to the people, because
Service.
if it wasn't for and I tell them, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have a job. And I appreciate that.
There's so many folks who really wrap around that so well. I remember Terry Cooper, of course, we both know
I
well,
do,
who
yeah.
wraps
I
so
miss
well
Terry.
around.
I miss Terry.
I know, wrapped so well around service to the people. You know, his whole campaign, everything he started with back in '98, and obviously his commitment to his wife and his children, but golly, service to the people. And I'm so glad you wrap around that, and the staff's made a
yes.
commitment to that.
We sure have.
Talk a little bit about, of course, that aspect of raising twin daughters. Now, you had 3 girls and a son, am I correct?
All right. In December '55, we had a son, and '56 had those twins.
Wow.
And it was tough. It prepared me
That's
for
almost 5
politics.
decades ago, Lois. My Lord, you must have had it when you were 3. How'd that happen?
You're very kind.
You kept your youth very well. That's amazing.
I exercise every day, and I drink Better Blue water.
Oh yeah, well that's right. You're not that. Yeah, well, you can never drink enough Better Blue. That's kind of no more plugs for Better Blue nor the Herald,
Yeah.
for that matter. Your interest, obviously, in. I'm trying to think what actually brought you to Conway in the first place.
Well, my husband, we opened up a business in Conway.
Okay.
At that time, Royal Typewriter was the typewriter, and we opened up a business here, and it was an office equipment business, and raised our family here. And it's a wonderful, wonderful county. We've watched it grow, and it's just a very diverse, wonderful county to live in.
Obviously, this is a community affairs show, so we wouldn't normally talk about party politics, but you got very active in the Republican Party early on. Charter woman or women of the Horry County Republican Women's Club, of course, the chairman emeritus of the Horry County Republican Party. That's a heck of a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
Now, did those things happen in tandem with your service as a House member in the State House?
Well, it did, and but you know, politics is not for the faint-hearted. It's a job that you need to have. You have to have a stickability in it. And so many times we get in there, and if it doesn't go like we want to the first few weeks, and we're going to drop out, and it's not going to have anything to do with it. That is not good politics. And so I just stayed in there because I saw the importance of sticking in there and seeing that the job was done. And we've come a long way here in Horry County, and the state too.
Absolutely. Do you mind me asking what year you were elected to, was it House Seat 105?
1976.
Is that right?
Yes.
A big year, the bicentennial.
Yes, and
That
Reagan was
exciting.
elected that year too. Ronald Reagan.
That's Ronald Reagan won?
I believe he was elected that
Jimmy
year.
Carter was.
Was it Jimmy
76,
Carter? That's
and
right.
Reagan
in
80. That's right.
That's
Forgive me. It was
I'll tell you who was there. I've seen the governor was Jim Edwards.
Okay.
He was elected
Yes.
in
You got a
74.
Republican governor that
Yes.
year. That's right. That's right. Well, you had some exciting, of course,
Yeah.
in the early 70s with Ed Young going in 72, and then of course John Jenrette going in, and I guess 74. A lot of exciting things happening in Horry County. I guess that was the first time that Horry County had their own congressman.
It was.
It's a big, it's
Very big deal.
Very big deal, and of
Saw
course.
John not too long ago.
Is that right? You know, it was, so a couple of questions I wanted to ask you were tied into an interview we had with John a few months back, getting ready for the Galvins Ferry Stump. And some of those questions were, you know, as we were thinking about him, do I want the job? Can I take the time? Is this the right time? Can I win? Can I afford to lose? There's so many questions. Can I do it to my family? When you're getting ready, I mean, there's so many critical questions. Can I raise enough money? Now, these days, with the cost of running elections countywide or think congressional-wide, with districts like in the PD, where you've got a district like Jim Clyburn's, which will run from Florence to Columbia to Charleston over to Orangeburg. I mean, huge districts. And then districts like Henry Brown's of 5 coastal counties. I mean, there's a lot of fascination in running for office.
It is. It's a big decision, but it's so exciting. It's wonderful. I think you got a degree in politics yourself.
That's right. I learned a little bit.
Yes.
That's right.
And it's wonderful. It is a lot of sacrificing you have to make. Your family has to make sacrifices. I tell folks that when my husband answers the phone, he says, "She's not here, but would you like to leave a rumor?"
Oh, my God.
And
Yeah.
it's rumors all innuendos, and you just have to be a very strong person. But it's worth it, because if at the end of my career, Greg, if I can look back and know that I have made a small difference, then it's worth it all. And my children and my grandchildren, they're so politically minded. My grandchildren, whenever they turn 18, first day they do, they go register to vote, because they know if they're going to leave at Grandma's house, they got to be registered to vote.
Good for them,
Yeah.
Lois. Well, you must have gotten involved in kids voting then,
Oh,
even
yeah.
on the periphery.
Oh,
Have you been? That's an amazing
Yes,
group.
it is,
Yeah.
and that's helped a lot. It really
Oh,
had
yeah.
is to educate the families.
Golly.
That was I think that was the purpose. If you get the children interested, then you're going to get the mamas and the papas
Right.
interested also, and part of grandmas too.
Voting is such a big deal. I guess it's really the most important right we have as citizens.
And we don't realize that. We have some countries that lose their lives trying to vote, and we here have it right at our back door, so to speak, and then we just don't take advantage of it.
Have you ever talked to your daughters or your son what it was like for them later in life? What it was like for them growing up with a mom who's an elected official?
Yes, there's parts of it they do not like.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And there's parts of it they do like. They won't. They would not go to the grocery store with me uptown, because we never could get through because of people stopping and asking questions.
Yeah. Like, can you help me with
That's
this?
right.
Or congratulations on that. You're the
Yeah.
greatest.
And so, but they, all in all, I think it is, and they will tell you it's made them a better person.
Really?
We have 4 wonderful children. All of them become very good citizens and good parents. And whenever you can accomplish that, I think that's a lot.
Now, you said one of the twins is here, one's in Columbia. Your other daughter and son are where?
Our son is in Anderson, South Carolina. He is head of an international adoption agency.
Really?
Yeah, and he's adopted 5 children.
Oh, come on.
Yes,
of his own?
Of his own. He has 2 children, but only adopted 5.
They've
So
had 7 children. They figured
yes.
out that's a lucky number, and they're going to
Yes.
stop. Yeah.
And our other daughter, she works at Coastal Carolina University.
So all the children have stayed in the Palmetto State?
Yes, they have.
Wow, is your husband from the Palmetto State?
Yes,
Golly.
Yeah, so this is our home. Wonderful place to live and to raise a family.
Yes, Lois, how exciting. Well, those aspects, as you think, when you think back to that position being elected in '76, and so many things happened from there. I think I saw that Governor Campbell had appointed you as a member of the South Carolina Highway Commission in the late '80s. Of course, having won, am I correct? 3 re-election campaigns?
4.
Is that right?
In the House.
Okay.
And then you don't remember, but I ran for Congress.
Oh, come on.
I ran for Congress in '84, won the primary, and lost in the general election.
Is that right?
Yes.
Now, how was that district drawn back then? Was that still the PD and ORE?
It was
the old 6th
Florence,
district?
Yeah, the old 6th district.
Yeah.
Florence in Marlborough
It was
County.
a huge district.
Yeah, Marion, Georgetown, and
Oh, yeah.
ORE County.
And ORE. I remember Ed Young's been with us a number of times on the show, and when he talks about that district, when he went in '72, it was one of the biggest districts east of the Mississippi.
It was.
Rural districts, but it also
Yeah.
had this huge coastal influence. When he talks about that experience of '72, going in and working with Senator Thurman on getting some things happening down in Merle's Inlet and in the jetties up in the area up around Little River, it's incredible hearing about that. The commitment that was made. Well, that's fascinating. So you won in the primary, but lost in the general election.
That's right.
In '84, another
In
big
84,
year.
Yes,
Yeah.
another big year.
Golly, Lois. Well, of course, the big focus, and I'm sorry, obviously the big focus on the March of Dimes Chef's Auction, you laid out so many of those amazing auction items. Are there still opportunities for folks to be involved as sponsors, as donating auction items? What could a viewer do to be involved with this year's Chef's Auction?
Certainly, we'd love for you to be a sponsor. You can call our office, 488-3463,
Right.
and find out information about that. We'd be glad to talk with you.
Okay.
You can drop auction items by the office.
Okay.
We really need auction items. And just think, every time you donate something, it's for a baby, or you may save a life of a baby.
That's exactly right.
You can. The tickets are $100
Okay.
for an individual person, and it's. We just need you very badly.
Well, of course, that aspect, as you said, doors opening at 6, begin looking at auction items, tasting Share with the viewers a little bit about what the Star Chef Auction really is. Yeah.
We have chefs from the top restaurants around this county, and they're going to be there with their specialty, and they are delicious.
Oh, wow.
Be sure now can't be on no diet if you come. All those wonderful desserts and the entrees. It's one. It looks like, Craig, we're going to have probably about 18 different chefs. That means that's 18 different types of food that you can taste. Eat as much as you want.
Skip lunch on the 26th.
That's right. Yeah,
That's right.
We're going to have tables. They'll all be set up that they may sit down and enjoy it. You don't have to walk around with a plate in your hand.
Right.
A very enjoyable night.
What types of auction items? You laid out so many amazing auction items. What if a viewer knew of something in particular, there's certain things you're really looking for, or just anything?
Okay. Suits, men's suits.
Okay.
I mean, I'm talking about top of the line suits.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And vacations,
Okay.
cruises.
Right. Golf packages?
Yes, there's going to be a lot of golf packages because we live in the area. And not only here in Oldie County, but in other areas also.
Sure. So, of course, our viewers in the PD, the bulk of our viewers are in the PD or southeastern North Carolina. They could come down for this event. This event is open to everyone.
Yes, and even if you live in Marion County or even in Oldie County, you can come over to the beach and play golf.
I wonder if we probably need to check with the Radisson about doing some reduced rates that
I'm
night
sure they
in
will.
the hotel.
In fact of the matter, Mr. Roddy, Mike Roddy, who is the general manager over there at the Radisson, he's my co-chairman.
You're kidding. Great.
Yeah, he's a wonderful guy.
He is.
Doing a lot of good for that hotel, too, and it's coming out. It really is.
Oh, yeah. Well, even though he's gone, Michael Pointer and his wife Debbie did a heck of a lot last year and helped make it a very successful event. Debbie was very active with that last year, and obviously turned out great to make this year's event even more exciting.
Oh, by the way, Hooters is, they are donating several trips.
Is that right?
Tickets, airline tickets.
Son of a gun.
So
great.
that's wonderful. You can take that and go on a vacation if you want to.
Yes. Hooters Bob Brooks is donating a big package to the Volunteer of the Year for the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce on September 30th. A big luncheon at Springmaid Beach. All the area volunteers associated with the chamber, and he is to be there to present the big prize package. So
he's
really
great.
getting involved in the community there.
He has done so much for this community, and being grew up in Loris, and he really has. And I have been to his operation in Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Naturally fresh, that.
Yeah.
It is. It's very impressive.
All the salad dressings, and they do bottled water as well. He's a competitor of mine.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm kind of a charity water, though, Lois. I donate more than sell. Yeah, well, that's very exciting. So surely the activities that night and to have the opportunity to buy. Well, of course, if you break down that 4 hours, let's say it's from 6 to 10, it's really only $25 an hour there.
That's right.
And you have the opportunity to experience chefs from 18 of the greatest restaurants in Horry and Georgetown County. Surely that opportunity to be able to bid on auction items. Will there be a live auction as well?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And we have an auctioneer that's going to be coming in, and that's always a lot of fun, for the auctioneer to come in and hear that talk.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. I love hearing them.
Somebody said I need to be auctioneer at the time because I love to talk so much.
Yeah, and you probably talk really fast. Could you have to learn how to do that when you were going through the grocery store with your kids? You had to learn how to talk really fast.
If I have to, I can talk fast. Yes. But talking about my children growing up, you're talking about politics. They were involved in a lot of the things I did, and I would get their opinion. I ask them, about what you think about this, and they felt like they were part of it, and they were. And my husband, I had a wonderful husband, too.
I saw some quotes as people were talking about Lois Eargle and doing a little research on you. What Lois is open and honest and will listen. Obviously, Lois is concerned for others and their well-being. That aspect of Lois will take a stand. I mean, those are 5, that's how many words? Lois will take a stand. That's 5 short words there. But the excitement of that commitment to, if you want to get something done, ask Lois Eargle to do it. What do you think from your childhood enabled you to have that kind of strength to get things done?
Well, I had an incurable disease, and God healed me when I was 4 years old. And I just felt like that I was here for a purpose. And I have always wanted to be a service and a servant to the people and to help people. And it's that just makes my day whenever I can do something or help someone. It's just, and I think my mother instilled that in me. She was a wonderful Christian lady and loved people. She was 87 when she died, never worked a day, and the church couldn't fill the people who came to her funeral. And that was just a testimony to her of her life that she lived. And I feel like that it sort of was embedded into me.
So when you think back on, if you were to think back on what do you attribute your success? You think your mom would be a big motivator there?
She would. She was. She taught me the faith that I have today, and to appreciate the little things in life. I mean, things in life doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be a monetary thing. Mm-hmm. It's just little things in life, and I enjoy life. Mm-hmm. My husband said, whenever I'm gone, if I go before he does, he's going to say, that woman enjoyed life. And that's what God put us here on this earth for, is to enjoy life and help others. Craig, you help so many people in this community.
There's so many people who do. So many people who do. No, I'm one of 10,000.
Well, you are,
Absolutely.
but I mean, I'm just, and that's really and truly, to me, that's what life is all about, and is to helping one another and to make a difference.
I'm so glad you point out that aspect of the little things and just make them big. You know, the little thing in your life may be a gigantic part of someone else's life.
Right. And someone comes in my office, I don't care what the problem might be, if it's a road or a ditch or whatever. It doesn't have to be a part of my functions of my office, but I'm interested, I listen, and I help.
It'd be difficult to gauge, to wrap up, Lois. What's your biggest inspiration? It sounds like your mom, obviously your God, your children, your husband. I mean, you've the service to the people. What do you think really makes you tick?
Well, people ask me that all the time, and I'll say I love my church. I'm singing the choir, and I teach a Sunday school class, and I get my energy from people. If I ever have a down day, all I need to do is to get with some friends, laugh, talk, and have a good time, and then I'm rejuvenated for the next day. And I do not dwell on the negatives of my life. I dwell on the positives of my life, and I make a positive out of everything negative. And in order to stay in politics for as many years as I have, you have to have an attitude that you're not going to let the negative take you down and just concentrate on the positive things. And there's so many positive things in this life, like March of Dimes that you work so hard for, and you see results in your work and what you do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being with us this morning, Lois.
It is wonderful, and thank you for asking me.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People. The Honorable Lois Eargle coming up next. The phone number's simple, 843-488-3463. It's the March of Dimes Star Chefs Auction. The date, October 26th. The time, 6 p.m. The doors open. You have an opportunity to get out there to buy auction items, to bid on auction items, the opportunity to get out there and to experience so much going on that night. It's going to be a big night. 18 chefs from up and down the Strand, folks out there committing their absolute best specialty dishes. Get out there. The phone number again, 843-488-3463. The price, $100. Cheap if you break it down by the hour. Work hard to save babies together.